I'm Tasia, coming to you live from the University of Findlay. We will be hearing from some experts today on the controversial topics of antibiotic use in food animals. With my background in agriculture, I see the benefits of antibiotics, but I also realize the risks. With that being said, I would like everyone to introduce themselves and state their side.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I'm a veterinarian. I believe that antibiotics, like other medications, have their place in animal medicine. However, they are a drug and they can be misused, and we have a responsibility both to consumers and to the animals themselves to make sure that that doesn't happen.
As a top researcher, I've used reason and logic to conclude that antibiotics can be both helpful and harmful to the meat industry. They can be useful in keeping our animals healthy, but we definitely need to use caution because antibiotic resistance can be a real issue. As long as they are used properly and as intended, antibiotics won't harm us.
My name is Alexis, and I know I'm right about this. Antibiotics are just like vaccines. They cause autism in cows and humans, and they can kill you with a horrible virus. I'm going to raise my kids as vegans if something isn't done about this. I learned all about this from Facebook, so I know I have the best possible information.
Hang on, let me just finish sharing this article from Alexis. That post you made about the actual virus being in the vaccine was eye-opening. Anyways, I'm Deli, a social media warrior who uses Facebook, a source containing several credible articles keeping you in the loop of what's going on in our society. Antibiotics in meat is ruining the taste of our meat and is causing everyone to become resistant to antibiotics.
Now that we all know each other, let's get started. Alexis, you said that you were thinking of going vegan. Why is that?
I don't want my kids to eat meat anymore because 1 out of 6 Americans get sick from a foodborne disease and 3,000 will die each year, at least according to this article I saw from Pipestone Veterinary Services. I'm guessing that's all from antibiotics. I know that antibiotics are just like vaccines, which also kill people because my really amazing therapist tweeted about it.
Did you know that foodborne illnesses and antibiotic resistance can be linked to the production of fruits and vegetables? According to a ResearchGate article, it gives some examples of common practices contributing to antibiotic-resistant bacteria on plants and in our soil, including spraying antibiotics on crops and genetically engineered crops containing antibiotic-resistant genes. Let's see what Ashley has to say.
Actually, it is true, but those foodborne illnesses mostly come from unprepared foods, things like cross-contamination and leaving food out for extended periods of time.
Well, I also read a Facebook post from the New York Times about how the antibiotics we take mess up our bacteria inside our stomachs. That is disgusting.
Oh yeah, I remember posting about that last week. The New York Times article about how antibiotics not only mess up the bacteria in humans, but also causes anaplasmosis in animals, right? It's a disease that deprives animals of oxygen and causes them to act violently. Despite it being a rare disease, 25% of Farmer Lewis's herd got the disease when he was feeding them antibiotics. Coincidence? I think not.
Well, while there is some research to support the idea that antibiotics can disrupt our microbiome, that data is mainly supported by the misuse of the medicines. We do need those bacteria to keep our stomach and intestines healthy and to help us digest food.
Exactly. What we really need to be focusing on is how little antibiotics affect us by eating the meat, because there's little to no chance on people receiving antibiotic resistance from the animals we consume. Based on recent research and food safety news, the majority of our antibiotic resistance is from the antibiotics we consume to treat our illnesses, not from the meat we consume.
Going off what Ashley just said, the FDA, or Food and Drug Administration, banned the use of human antibiotics to improve growth in our meat animals, and it requires farmers to get a prescription from a veterinarian for antibiotics that once could be purchased over the counter before early 2017.
Basically, what I'm understanding is that farmers and veterinarians are working together to overdose our food animals. According to my primary source, Mike Calicrate, who is a rancher in Kansas and Colorado, veterinarians are more than happy to prescribe whatever amount of antibiotics they want so they can slowly kill off society. It's a conspiracy to ruin everyone's immune system, and it needs to be stopped.
Wait just a minute. Maggie never said anything like that.
Why would you put our children's lives in jeopardy? You should never be a mother if this is how you're going to treat your kids.
What Maggie is referring to is Section 503 of the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. According to the AVMA, this policy also enforces that the drugs prescribed be dispensed only in quantities required for treatment. This includes avoiding unlimited refills. This policy is actually trying to further regulate antibiotic use, not increase it.
I'm just going to keep this interview about the use of antibiotics in meat animals and how it affects our safety and forget about what just came out of your mouth. As Ashley and I were saying, it's important to understand that the use of antibiotics in animals has gone down significantly over the past 10 to 15 years, based on a drover's meat company.
Maggie is absolutely right. According to USDA stats from 2014, less than 1% of our meat that has been inspected has a trace of antibiotic resistance showing up in people. Based on these statistics, it is safe for us to say that your children are in minimal danger when they consume meat.
How can you be positive about that?
I think I can answer that. Over the past decade, medical advances have happened in veterinary medicine and hospitals that are now better equipped to handle antibiotic-resistant cases. According to the CDC, the antibiotic-resistant numbers per year are decreasing thanks to preventative measures by our researchers and veterinarian community. You're the ones we're mainly concerned for, despite you not wanting to believe it. We always try to have your best interest in dealing with public safety.
Is there anything you would like to add, Deli?
Actually, yes. If you're so concerned about our safety, why has this never been fully eradicated? According to my Healthline newsletter on social media, 200 U.S. samples of meat were taken of chicken, beef, turkey, and pork, and 20% contained traces of salmonella, and of these samples, 84% were resistant to at least one antibiotic. How can you even attempt to explain this?
To answer your first point, the reason why we cannot fully eradicate the antibiotic resistance in animals is because there are new bacteria that show up, and we do not have enough resources to fully combat it. Your second question is a valid point to be concerned about, but as previously discussed, there will be traces of antibiotic-resistant bacteria in uncooked foods. However, as soon as you cook it to the proper temperature, most, if not all, of the bacteria are killed off.
Okay, so we are running out of time, so why don't we wrap up things for today? That is all we have, and next week we'll have a debate with the Flat Earth Society.